Hey guys, welcome in to the Sportscast with your host Brian, Jeff, and Craig. Hey guys, how you doing?
Howdy.
What's going on, Jeff? Unmute your mic there, buddy.
I'm good. I'm good. I had on mute. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's all about Week 14 as we're going to get into our top 5 Week 14 power rankings, and then we're going to get into the games this weekend, and probably a little bit more. So, welcome into the show. 8 o'clock p.m. on Friday nights, we do our live show, and then me and Craig do a live show on Tuesdays as well. So come on, join the show, get in the comment section, and we'll have a little fun tonight. All right, guys, let's start it off with the power rankings here. Week 14, 5-1, like we always do. Number 5, and number 5 was kind of the hardest one for me because there's probably about 3 or 4 honorable mentions that I could put in this spot. And I will tell you guys this: the Eagles are not in my top 5. So there you go. You don't have to worry about that debate tonight. My number 5, and I had to put him here. I got the Chicago Bears. They're 9-3. They're number one in the division, or number one in the division. They're number one in the NFC right now. I feel like they've got to be in the top 5. I feel like I need to see a little more from him. A lot of the games they've won have been bad teams, but they were down by 10. They'd come back and win it. Find a way to win it. They beat the Eagles not too recently, so it was a good win for them. I honorable mention 49ers, honorable mention Bills or Packers. I'm like, man, if we didn't tie against the Cowboys right now, Packers would be number one in the NFC. But I gotta have the Bears here, guys. I don't like to say it. We play each other this in week 14. We'll get in the game in a little bit here, but I don't want to put them there. But I gotta put a little respect on it right now where they're at in the NFC. So that's my number 5. Craig, who do you got at number 5 on your week 14 power rankings?
I got the same team. I thought I'd be the only one, but yeah. I mean, you can't deny what they did. The Eagles was a good win. Supposedly, they're a good football team. I don't necessarily agree, but to most people, they're a good football team, and they beat them.
Craig, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been telling you that for 3 or 4 weeks. Look at there. I might know what I'm talking about.
You've been telling me that for 2 years now. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
I think
who knew Saquon Barkley was going to run for 9 million yards? No, I mean and they're doing it a different way. They're not. Caleb doesn't have to have 350 yards. Swift picked it up against the Eagles, which is solid because he had struggled before, and Caleb had a couple good games, and the defense looks like it's fairly good, but they do have a very brutal December. They've got the Packers twice. They've got the Lions, so we're going to find out if they're real, if it's real, or if it's, this might be the only appearance in a power ranking, format, right, because they may lose out and do Chicago Bears things, but Ben Johnson has that thing rolling. And it took him a couple games, but he's made his impact, and maybe he's as good as what we thought he was in Detroit. So we'll see if they can keep this thing going. But right now, you do not want to have to go to Chicago in January and play football. So that's not going to be a good thing. That is a true home field advantage if that is the case. Soldier Field in January is not a place you want to play.
And I jumped on with Bearski Films on Wednesday night this week, and we had a good conversation, talked all about Packers Bears and the division and everything going into it. And I told him my main takeaway this year from the Bears is Ben Johnson. You're winning these games because Ben Johnson. He's teaching his team a winning mentality where those games where you're down 10 in the fourth quarter against a bad opponent, the Bears would find a way to not win those games. They'd find a way to make a mistake and lose those games. So I totally give credit to Ben Johnson here. He's got Caleb Williams not making he's not making those bonehead plays. He still makes a couple here and there, but he's looking better this season. He doesn't throw interceptions anymore. He's pretty protected with the football. So and this defense with the Bears, they have the most turnovers in football. They're opportunistic. That's what I worry about most is this defense on that side of the ball. And we talked about it as when the playoffs come, the teams are hard to beat, play good defense, and they run the ball well. And that's exactly what the Bears are doing. So you're 100% right. You go in January in the cold on the crappy field that you got to play on is a team you don't want to face probably in the playoffs. But we'll see how December pans out playing Green Bay twice. And they play the 49ers as well. And I believe the Lions and maybe I think that's it, or maybe the Browns somewhere in there. But Jeff, who do you got at number 5, sir?
I'm gonna kind of ride on that same bandwagon a little bit. I think this team will live off two things: that secondary, if that's consistent enough down the stretch, or if they get injuries, let's see. Well, no, who knows? It's the NFL. And then Caleb Williams, like that's it. If this team falters, it could be because something fell apart with that. Their pass rush is, I mean, I don't think it's the best in terms of their defense, but their secondary is really good. So when it comes to down the stretch, with more mobile quarterbacks, even though they just beat the Eagles, I think there's better athletic quarterbacks than Hurts. We'll see. They're playing well. The coach has got them in good position, but I have them at that position because I don't necessarily know what kind of Bears team we'll get at the end. We could get an amazing team, but we could also get, well, that's kind of what we thought, right? It's like, yeah. So, I mean, it could flip very easily. It's the NFL is a weird deal. We see things happen literally flipping scripts constantly. Josh Allen will throw pick six, or not pick six, but he'll throw like 3 interceptions one game, and then all of a sudden he threw 6 touchdowns the next. So what kind of Bears team is this? We'll see. I don't know. If they make a stretch, it's literally going to be that secondary and Caleb Williams. And I honestly think Caleb Williams has to be great down the stretch for them to be really considered above that spot where we put them.
And we talked about it on the Bearski films that they're missing a great edge rusher. They don't have a great pass rusher. But, and I also think they're winning, I wouldn't say despite Caleb Williams, but it's not all on Caleb Williams' shoulders.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing. If they can continue running the ball and playing good defense, and Caleb Williams doesn't have to drop back 40 times and throw the ball, it's a good. That's a good
my
formula
only thing is
right
there
now.
Might be a situation where that is the case.
Yeah, and I don't. Then at that point, I don't think they.
Because when it's playoff football, somebody's going to stop you somewhere, and if they stop the run game, and the quarterback they're going up against is a little bit more stingy on giving up the ball as often, and then that defense is like, oh yeah, go ahead, let's go, Caleb Williams. Like, what happens?
I mean, we could see a shootout this week when they play the Packers, but where that turns into a shootout, and can Caleb Williams keep up? So we'll see. We'll talk about that game coming up here in a minute. Number 4, Craig, who do you got? Who do you got in your number 4 spot?
I got the Seahawks. Still solid. but Darnold's come down to earth a little bit the last couple games. Hasn't really been the quarterback he was the first 5 or 6 weeks. That defense is, I mean, Seattle's playing with house money. We didn't think when they made all these moves, we kind of thought they were in a rebuild mode and were, got rid of the head coach and he'd been there forever and didn't really have a running back that you knew, and they got rid of their wideouts and they get rid of Metcalf and you just kind of thought Seattle was in a gonna take a year or two to come back and they're playing really good and man, that NFC West is crazy.
Insane.
We really kind of thought it was a 1-team division and it's 3 teams and they're going to be battling it out all the way to the end because they're all within a game of each other. I believe Seahawks Rams is next Thursday, so the last few Thursday night games, Bills, Texans, Cowboys, Lions, Seahawks, Rams, those are all going to be very, very good and very, very important games. So Amazon's got them a solid lineup right now, because they've got some really important games that probably when they originally scheduled it didn't think they were so important. But Seattle's looked good, and that NFC West is going to be a fight right to week 18.
Yeah, and it's funny when there's a lot of talk about the North and the Packers and the Lions and the Bears and quietly you got not quietly with the Rams but with Seattle and I looked up I didn't know 49ers were 9-4 too. I'm like, oh
yeah, I mean they're all within a game of each other.
Yeah, so you have a potential for 3 teams to make the playoffs in 2 divisions, which is absolutely crazy. So Jeff, who do you got in your number 4 spot, sir?
I would also say Seahawks. I think that I mean, we've talked about them a few times at this point, how surprising this has been. How much they've kind of changed the whole narrative of how we thought this franchise was headed, after kind of just getting rid of a lot of people, coaching, Russell Wilson, all these things. So, I just think that they're one of to me they remind me of the Rams this year because it just kind of weren't really thinking about them. You were just kind of like, yeah, this whatever. They're probably not going to be anything to be worried about or anything. But I do think that they're playing very well, and it's kind of shocking and unexpected. And as with the Rams, they're just a surprise. And I think that's one of those teams where they might be a pesky team that you don't really want to deal with when you play them. So, so yeah, I mean, I kind of have to agree with Craig on that. I just think the Seahawks, they're playing very well. And I mean, just demolished the Vikings. So, but yeah,
I got the Patriots here. Patriots are 11-2. They're looking really good right now. I think it sticks in the back of my head. It's been a lot what you said, Jeff, about who have they really faced, right? And I'm not a big fan of knocking someone for your schedule because you don't pick your schedule, but I do want to see this team face playoff teams. I do want to see this team play a good defense. I do want to see Drake May get a little rattled and see how they handle adversity. But Vrabel's come in and done a damn good job. I thought Vrabel was a great pick for the Patriots. He's kind of fits that mold, and can teach Drake May and if they start drafting well, maybe they continue to be successful. We'll see what they do in the playoffs. I think they win this division over the Bills, which is going to be a big shocker. I think for a lot of people pick the Bills to win this division. I picked the Bills to win this division. So they're already, way above what people thought they were. And there's and coach of the year candidates are absolutely insane this season. I could think of 6, coach of the year. We'll talk into more about that later down when the season comes to an end and who really deserves it. There's a lot of head coaches right now that I'm going, wow, this team could, this coach could win it, and a lot of shocker this year in the football season. So I got the Patriots there at 4. Number 3, I got Seattle. You guys are right to have them in your top 5. They're 9-3. They're right there with the Rams. They've got some really good wins on their record, including beating the Rams. They beat the 49ers as well. This coach is another one that's up for coach of the year. I thought they'd miss a beat when they got rid of Metcalf, but Bigma has just been really good over there at wide receiver. Sam Darnold is, he has his ups and downs games, but Lawrence from the Cowboys looks like a different person this season. Two fumbles for touchdowns in one game. He looks to be energized. So they're a good team. They're battling their butts off for that division, and it's going to be fun to see the race for the NFC West when it comes all down to it, all said and done, where the 49ers are going to go. They're 9-4. You got the Rams there as well. So I got Seattle there at number 3. Everything you all said pretty much with them is spot on. Greg, who do you got at number 3?
I've got New England. I just this was something we didn't see coming. May kind of got his feet put to the fire at the end of last season and didn't look well. Looked overwhelmed, looked like the moment was kind of too big for him. And I don't know what he did in the offseason, but he's looked like an entire different quarterback. And he's looked like the kid who I saw and talked about coming into the draft, that I thought he was one of the top ones in the draft. And I thought New England, when they drafted him, I said, this could be their franchise quarterback for a very long time. And it looks like they've replaced Brady already and are going to be back in for quite a while. So I like New England. I like what they've done. I love what Vrabel's done. I really wanted him to be hired in Dallas. Not that really I can complain about Schottenheimer. He's been really, really good. And I think next season will be a Schottenheimer breakout season. Because I think he's starting to leave his footprint on that team with every week that goes by. New England is Vrabel has got that thing running, and I think they win the East hands down. When you really thought this was a Buffalo Bills runaway, Josh Allen MVP, and they're talking about, if you'd have told me to start the year they were going to talk about Drake May as the MVP in Week 14, I would have not bought in on that just yet. He is a legitimate MVP candidate, and they're a legitimate team. So, Jeff,
I'm gonna also going with New England on this. I had them up higher, like at first, and then I started thinking about a little bit, and I actually did watch some of that game recently as well. But yeah, I would have them higher. And I know some people probably would have them at 1, be just based off record alone. But I think that I'm still wanting to see a little bit more of that. Their defense is really good. At least against the Giants, it looked good. But again, we go back to that. They played the Giants. A team that a kicker could not even somehow kick the ball. That entire game from the Giants was just a disaster mess. So that's what I mean. Like, what did I get out of that game from New England? You beat a team that has a lot of problems and injuries, I guess. Like, But it didn't tell me, it didn't change the narrative on that for me, where I'm sitting there like, okay, let's see what he does when he gets sacked twice. Let's see what he does when he's constant, that pocket's collapsing on him. Like, what does he do then? Like, so it's just, or what does he do when they're down? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, I want to see a little bit more of that from teams that I know are going to really challenge him. And you're going to see that in the playoffs. So I think we'll get a better picture of Drake May in those moments. Whether he wins or loses, it doesn't matter. I just want to see how he responds in those moments. Because we talk about, Craig talked about Brady. Well, let's see how he does in those moments, right? Because Brady in those moments did pretty well. So I don't know. But I have him at 3 mainly because I thought about putting him at 1, but I just couldn't do it because I just want to see those clutch moments from Drake May and the offense. Defense, they look crazy good. I don't know. They made some crazy hits on people in that game, this last game, and I was just like, geez. I'm shocked that no flags were thrown because some of the hits they sounded bad. I'm like, oh man, they're gonna throw a flag, and they just didn't do it. So I was like, all right. But yeah, I got him at 3. I would love to just see how they do in the playoffs. I just want to see it.
Yeah. There's some Patriots fans out there talking about dynasty. I'm like, all right, let's you got to win one. Yeah, let's relax here, guys. Let's
who talked about dynasty? The Houston Texans when they had Deshaun Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Look how that turned out.
All right, number 2.
It's hard to do stuff like that. It's hard to say things like that. It's like there's no crystal ball. Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Number 2, and I don't know if I'm looking at. I wrote down our week. I don't know what week that was before, and we'll probably have the same 2 and 1. I got Denver here, number 2. 10-2, great defense. I want to see a little more out of the offense, but they're playing really good. They played a tough game against the Washington Commanders. Almost said Redskins, but didn't. The other night, and Dan Campbell had that team playing pretty well. They went to overtime, and Benito made a huge play there in overtime to win the game. And but Denver's here at number 2, solid football team, great defense, and just let's see where they finish out and get into the playoffs, and where they're gonna, who they're gonna face and all that good stuff. But Craig, who do you got at number 2?
Yeah, I got the Broncos here too. Could have really gone either way with this 1 and 2. But I think they're solid, and I think they're going to be really tough to play in the postseason. Denver's another place that's going to be crazy cold and some crazy weather, and that defense could have more sacks than any NFL team ever, and they could do it in the next week or so and beat the record. They're going to beat the record no matter what because of the 18 games, but they could beat it in ahead of 17, and that would be insane because, like I said, I watched the Texans defense a couple weeks ago, and as good as they looked, if Denver's better, that's mind-blowing because the Texans have an absolutely disgusting pass rush, and I didn't realize that until they made Josh Allen very uncomfortable all night long. So the pass rush of Denver that's gonna win you some football games down the road because there's not too many quarterbacks that like getting off their spot and throwing the ball and still tearing the league up.
Mahomes.
Dak wasn't real comfortable doing it last night. I mean, he did throw for 375, but still you could see where he was off, having to move off his spots and deal. That was Brady's kryptonite. Brady's kryptonite was hitting him or just getting close to him. He didn't like it at all. Manning, when he first came into the league, he was the most sacked quarterback of all time, and until he finally got some people in there to protect him a little bit. He had some horrible seasons. So a pass rush. I mean, just even Dallas's pass rush has gotten better since the addition of Quinnen Williams. Other guys are now able to step up because Quinnen Williams has taken on 2 and 3 guys. So to have a pass rush, it makes your team very difficult, especially when you get into December and January. So I got the Broncos here.
I'm going Denver on this one. I think I'm probably going to even stick with my the 2 I had last time, top 2 at least. Yeah, I mean it's so funny because I think people look at that Commander game and they kind of go, oh, like you almost lost to the Commanders. I told Brian this. They alluded to it multiple times in the broadcast. Dan Campbell's called plays for them 2 straight games. Prior to that, he didn't. I don't know why, but he was not play calling at all. So they were talking about there was the game before the Broncos or the 2 games prior. They just got destroyed by Lions, I think. After that game, Dan Campbell
Quinn took the playbook after the Lion game.
Yeah,
the Lions hung 50 on him, and Quinn said, "I'll take it from here."
So to me, it's like I look at that and I go, okay, I saw the difference. Watching the game, watching how they played the Broncos, I saw the difference. Because I was like, okay, I see what they're doing on defense. They're doing things differently. Offensively, they did do some things that our defense struggled with. I don't know if, again, Broncos came off like literally almost a 2-week bye. I mean, it was like a week and a half or something. We had like a mini bye at one point. So there was Pat Surtain's first game in the last 5 games. So it's his first game back. So yeah, if we had it was kind of a rusty, you could tell, especially that early, those first 2 quarters, that first half, they were kind of rusty and there was just a lot. But then that second half came and defense pretty much locked them down. But we just couldn't get to Mariota. Mariota, I don't know, Fountain of Youth.
He played a good. He had a
good game.
One of those random games.
And he's had games like that in his career, where all of a sudden you're like, oh man, Marcus Mariota looked great, and then
it's like Jameis Winston.
Next game
he'll have a couple good games. You're like 350. What the hell are we doing?
So and he was getting the ball out fast. I think that the Broncos defense has got to either figure that part out. He was able to get the ball out very quickly. That's why we only had a few sacks on him. I maybe even say like 2.5. There may have been 1. They almost didn't give us 1 because I don't know. But yeah, so I got him at 2. I am worried about the run game a little. Dobbins being out kind of is a problem because RJ Harvey, he's not known as a typical back. He's more of that passing back kind of guy, kind of like a Debo, I guess, in a way. But he wants to catch. That's kind of that's the whole point of it. So we'll see how down the stretch. But yeah, you talked about the Houston game. I think they only sacked Bo Nix that whole game twice, which is crazy. So even the offensive line's doing pretty good in Denver. So I'm interested to see what happens after these. They need to lock the division up, so and just end it. But yeah, I got them at 2.
I think we're all gonna have the same 2 and 1. I got the Rams number 1. I'm pretty sure Craig and Jeff is the same. Right now, they're the team to beat, and I don't know their closing schedule. I'm pretty sure they probably got some divisional games in there. You said they play the Seattle next week, so we'll see how that division. It's just those divisional games down the stretch are going to be insane. I hate that the Packers played the Bears and then we play Denver and then we play the Bears again. I'm like, can we spread it out just a little? I get the drama at the end of the season, but it makes for some good
Eagles
football.
are doing the same thing with Washington. They're going to play Washington, take a week off and play Washington.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I mean, that Eagles schedule is not as easy as what it looked like. They got the Chargers this week, and then they got the Commanders who Daniels
Herbert
is
even
coming
playing?
back. Herbert's supposed to play Monday night. He had surgery.
With a fractured
He had surgery, but they said he'll be ready Monday night.
Oof.
So it's a non-throwing hand. So
hopefully his offensive line can protect him, I guess.
Rodgers didn't have to have surgery though, so that must have been pretty bad.
That's a problem, but there won't be Jalen Carter, so that'll help.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it, the guys. A good segue here. Games this week, week 14 games. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys get mollywopped off the field last night against the Lions, 44-30. One job, and I need them to win. And I didn't watch the game. I watched a little bit of the first part of it, and Gibbs juked out Murray so bad his legs are still in the 30-yard line. That was gross. I don't know how it wasn't a safety, by the way, but
yeah,
the officiating was terrible. I mean, Dallas jumped off sides on a 3rd and 2. We're clearly into the neutral zone. Goff snaps the ball, throws it, doesn't really care because he knows he's getting 5 yards. They're like,
nothing.
They weren't offside. What, offside?
Yeah.
I heard there was a bad pass interference on the offense.
Right.
And on the Cowboys.
That Pickens didn't make that. He ran a pick play and didn't make it look very obvious.
I heard he played very bad.
He did not have one of his better games. He had 38 yards. I really thought when CD went down that he would step up and take over where Lamb had 121 yards early in the third quarter and was trying to make a heroic catch and to it himself in the end zone. I mean, I knew as soon as he went down, his hands went stiff, and I was like, "Yep, he's gone." And they walked him to the locker room, and we'll see if he plays. The only good thing about it is they're going to have 10 days. Yeah, they're going to have 10 days in between to recover. So he with the extra few days, he might actually be able to clear protocol.
Yeah, he was coming. He missed the
play.
The catch, and the guy pushed him, and made it worse than it had to be, and he slammed his head pretty bad. I saw the video there. Bear down. Welcome in, Paul. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the Pickens drama, and or this is the first game. It kind of looks like he didn't give effort and all this stuff,
and the one play that
he seemed lackluster in terms of trying to actually.
The one play that they called him out on. I mean, he looked like he was going to run a 9 route, and he kind of peeled off of it, and the ball's not coming to me, deal. I don't know.
Caused an interception. He dropped that slant.
That was more of a guy that had the arm in there. That defensive back played that pretty well. But I mean, that's just watching film. They
the offense wasn't your problem here. You put up 30 points on the road, and defense gave up 44. So
the defense came back.
The defense reverted back to the first 5 weeks before Quentin Williams, and I mean, listen, they don't have any other secondary. The pass rush looked better, but I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's be honest. This guy could be in the MVP conversation. The 3 or 4 weeks, the last month he's had, he has the 80-yard run to beat the Giants in overtime. He last night says, "Oh, Amon-Ra is here, but he's not 100%. Throw me in at wide receiver, coach," and had 120 yards of receiving. The guy's a jack of all trades. That is probably the top 2-back combo in football.
Yeah.
Sonic, that's going to be dangerous.
Sonic and Knuckles. It's going to be. And Montgomery has had an off season and still last night breaks 1 for 37. Either one of them could break a run at any point in time if you just get the ball in their hands. Lions do take a huge hit. Branch tears his Achilles, which not only means he misses the rest of this year, but probably all of next.
He's a dirty player, man.
They are.
Brian, what's the bad blood, Brian?
He is a dirty player. He takes low shots and takes out knees.
I think he's got a bad rap. I think he had one or two tackles like that, and now all of a sudden every hit he makes, he's labeled.
I can't stand the guy. Face it twice a year.
I bet if he put a green helmet on, he would be the best defensive player in the world.
Brian's like, injure him all.
You couldn't stand Micah Parsons. You couldn't stand Micah Parsons until,
I didn't have any problem with Micah Parsons except his podcast.
All of a sudden,
that's different.
All of a sudden, hey,
that's a different story.
Micah, greatest guy ever.
Oh, he's great. Love him. 4.5 sacks.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Gibbs, man. Yeah, you're exactly. And it's crazy to me because when we played him last week, we played him on Thanksgiving. They didn't use him in the passing game. We shut him down running the ball, and I'm like, why didn't they do this against us? Because that's hard to stop.
They were probably game planning for St. Brown, and then when he goes down, it's like all of a sudden you're looking at your play. You're looking at your play, going, we don't have.
Like, well, that was for Amon-Ra. That was for Amon. Well, basically, this whole side of the playbook's done.
Amon-Ra looked 100% healthy last night. I was like,
last night he was on when he was out there warming up. He looked at somebody on the sideline and went, "I'm good." I was like, "Yep, that's a problem.
That's not good."
and he was warming up at 110%. I mean, sprinting.
I wonder if that was more of a threatening kind of thing. Like, hey, we still got this guy. We probably won't use him because we don't really want to hurt him too much. If we need him down the stretch.
Amon-Ra's only missed 2 games in his whole career, and Thanksgiving Day was one of them. So, I mean, I think they probably decoyed it a little bit, talking about how he didn't practice all week, and then all of a sudden he comes out and starts running.
Ian Rappaport was part of that whole mess too, by the way.
Running hard in breaking routes and everything like that. I'm going, there's nothing wrong with that ankle. And was it taped up? Was it shot up? Maybe. Probably. But listen, Amon-Ra is a beast, and he saw the injuries they had. He took one look at it, went, I got to step up for my teammates, and he did. It's a big game, and we could lose a lot of spot in the wild card chase if we lose this game. And Dallas has looked better as of late, so he steps up and puts in a good game. And even if he didn't catch the ball a lot, he was healthy enough to decoy out there and keep guys on him and give room for Gibbs and Jamison. Jamo has had several good weeks of and that offense. I mean, that offense is scary. My biggest fear, though, is I just don't know how much they have defensively. They're on there like their 13th running back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
13th defensive back. So
we beat them twice, right? We beat them twice this season, but it's a team I don't want to face in the playoffs. Beating a team 3 times in a row is hard. They know us, we know them, but their defensive backfield's so bad right now with injuries, and so we'll see how it pans out, though. Eagles and Chargers, talked a little bit about that. That's a Monday Night Football game. Should be a pretty good football game. I did not think I put them on here, but I picked with a question mark because I did not know that Herbert would be playing, but that's going to make it a better football game as well. The Eagles, we talked about it forever, about an implosion, and it looks like it's here more than ever. Looks like they're ready to break the band up and get rid of this wide receiver Brown. I don't think he can stand quarterback. And
watch this game be the game, Brian, where it's like,
they score 45 points, and we're like, wow,
Herbert
where the hell
gets knocked out in the second quarter. You're like, what?
You got the Colts and Jags. Okay, now this is for the division. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on a 3-game winning streak. They are tied right now with the Colts with the same record. They've snuck up on us a little bit here. I looked and I'm like, wow, where did they come from? The Colts have kind of slowed down a little bit on No one had them in their top 5 this week. So they're literally playing for the division lead who wins this game. So that should be a pretty good game there. See if the Jazz can continue the hot streak, and if the Colts.
So
can...
what is making the Jaguars good right now? Is it the quarterback play? Is it their defense? What do y'all see? Why this team is winning like this?
This is who the Jacksonville Jaguars are. They are one of the most inconsistent teams in football every single year, where they get their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. He's hit or miss. That's just who they are, man. It's crazy. They have some talent. You see some talented offensive players on the defense side of the ball, but that's just who they could win 3 straight and then lose 7. It's just like, what are we doing? Let me look at who they've played the last 3 games, and see if they've gotten any, big wins.
We play them at some point. I'm a little worried about that game. I don't know why, but it worries me.
Parker Washington has stepped in place of Travis Hunter and is very dangerous. So when you play Jacksonville, remember that name. He kick returns, he punt returns, he's wide receiver. He's had a very solid
Sean
3
Payton
weeks.
will probably make it to where he doesn't get the ball.
Yeah, he's had a very solid 3 or 4 weeks since Hunter went on the shelf. Parker Washington has stepped up and had a really, really good showing.
What are you gonna say, Brian? What are you gonna say?
Their 3 wins are Chargers.
Okay.
Which decent win, right? Yeah, and then Arizona and Tennessee. So not their last 3, not really all that great. They beat the Raiders, and then they lost to the Texans.
And remember, this team started out 3 or 4-0, and beat Kansas City.
They were 4-1.
Yeah,
and then
regressed, and now have won again.
3.
So it's kind of like a roller coaster.
Yeah. Okay.
They're so inconsistent. They've always been that way with Trevor Lawrence, and I think it's quarterback.
So don't pick up Trevor Lawrence in your fantasy this week. Okay.
I would not. No,
okay. I would not. No.
Matter of fact, I would pick up anybody but Trevor Lawrence, and I would not. I would not pick up, even though I'm going to say this, and he's going to start because I have nobody else. I would not play Patrick Mahomes this week either.
Whew.
Because that Texans defense.
Is that a segue, Brian? We haven't talked about that game yet, have we?
That Texans defense is brutal, and
I don't.
The Kansas City offensive line has not looked top notch this year.
No.
So Patrick Mahomes is going to be on run for my life alert all day on Sunday. He's going to close his rings out in probably the first 3 minutes of the first quarter. It's going to be very reminiscent of getting chest plated in the sideline, and he's going to get hit a lot on Sunday.
Now I don't have this. I don't even have this game in the top 5 because it's 2 teams that aren't going to make the playoffs this year. Texans are closer to making the playoffs than the Chiefs.
Until there's a mark next to the Chiefs' name, I don't rule them out.
6-6. The Texans are 7-5. They're 1 game back out of the first place in their division, which is I'm like, okay.
Oh,
David Mills.
Keep in mind, he's playing. He's not playing anymore.
Who is it now? Is it?
It's
Stroud?
CJ back.
It's CJ Stroud. Yeah, he's back.
CJ's back. He played last week.
He played. He played.
But the Ravens might be without their starter again. So
no way.
He's got an ankle injury. He did not practice yesterday. So
that's the 4th game I got on here. Ravens and Steelers, because whoever wins this is leading the division. They're both tied up right now. If he doesn't play, then
good old Rodgers.
Rodgers will play.
Yeah.
Rodgers will play.
Rodgers needs to stop throwing people under the bus.
Well, let me just quickly. I didn't even get to really talk about it, but let me just quickly talk about that Chief game. I honestly, I think Houston's going to beat him. I think Mahomes running around and
Where's it at?
I think it's in Houston, actually.
That's a problem.
I think so. I think it's you have to look
Houston,
that up, Brian.
we have a problem.
Is it in Houston? I think it
I'll have
might
to look
be.
it up. I accidentally closed my screen and
I honestly, it doesn't matter to me where it is. I just think
Arrowhead's just
Okay.
hard to hear. you know?
Yeah, but that's for that's I would say that affects more offense, but yeah, I
it's
think
at Kansas City.
okay. So, but I do. Patrick Mahomes does not do well this season. Oddly enough, you would think, okay, you don't want to blitz, don't blitz him, because as soon as he breaks out of there, like you got everybody running around in once the route ended, everybody's
don't
just
need to
kind of
blitz.
running
That's a
around
problem.
and. So, but what I saw this year so far, especially with the Broncos, we sacked him 3 times, but we pressured him a lot, and it caused a lot of problems for him in the game. Houston's going to be just as bad at pressuring him.
But
And
Buffalo beat him to an inch of his life. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of Kansas City games, but I've never seen Patrick Mahomes get hit as many times as he got hit.
No.
And when I say hit, and I'm talking hit.
So what I think also might be happening is, and it sounds weird to say this, but I'm like, that kind of gameplay can only get you so far for so long in the NFL. Like we talked about it for so long about how awesome it is when Patrick Mahomes releases the pocket and everybody just starts running crazy routes at that point because the route's over and everybody just that's why Kelsey's just randomly somewhere and no one's blocking him. Right. Yeah. So, but eventually, as you get older, you can't do that. Like that goes away because again, the athleticism that'll be the first thing that starts to slow down, and you have to make sure you have a good offensive line.
How many ankle injuries and how many, I mean, his ankles are made of Twizzlers. I want to see how bad the NFL. I want to see how bad the NFL wants the Chiefs in the playoffs, because if there's about 14 roughing the passer penalties on Patrick Mahomes this weekend, you'll know the answer.
Oh, I know. Bo Nix got hit in the helmet in this last game, and I just was like, really, okay, we don't ever do anything, I guess, for any other quarterbacks, but whatever.
Dak almost died last night, and then didn't have a single. He got up the one time, like hobbling to the sideline. I was like, Jesus.
But yeah, I with Kansas City, I know that you were talking about unless there's a letter next to their name, I think you lose this game. It's tough.
No, I mean,
it's real tough. You're chasing Jaguars at that point. I'm like, that's but
I just looked it up. They do say and think that Lamar Jackson will go Sunday, so that's good for Baltimore fans and people who want to watch a decent football game. Should be decent if Lamar's playing. When backup quarterbacks start playing, then you're like, yeah, it's a hit or miss. So
Brian's a big Lamar Jackson fan.
Yeah. You know me.
I am
number 1 fan. No, I can't stand the guy. The number 1 game this weekend, and the one that has the most on the line, is Packers Bears. The longest going rival.
Stop it.
In football. And it's 100% true. This is for if the Bears lose, they go from number 1 in the NFC to number 7. That's pretty crazy. So the Bears are coming to Lambeau Field. I do think we split. I already told us the Bearski Films on Wednesday that I do think we split with this team 50-50. We all know divisional games are tough. We all know that they play a little harder. It doesn't matter how bad they are. Like the Raiders will come out this year and give Denver a hard time, and you're like, the Raiders are trash. It's a divisional game, all right? You play a little harder. So this is going to be an interesting one. I did pick us to win at Lambeau, and the Chicago will probably beat us at Chicago in a couple weeks. I think Green Bay's just, we've kind of hit our stride a little bit. We had a really good win against the Lions and beat them on their turf by 10 points. So I think we're hitting our stride offensively. We're getting healthy at the right time. We've got Reed back for the first game that he's played this season. I think the first game might be his second game. We're getting healthy. We're getting a lot of guys back healthy. We did lose Wyatt on Thanksgiving, which is our big defensive tackle. Snapped his leg. I'm like, oh, he's out for the year. So
like a wishbone. Oof.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because the wishbone, because the Chicago Bears run the ball really well. So I think that's the key for us winning this game is we got to stop the run, and we can't turn the ball over on offense. So, but yeah, that's the number one game for me because I'm a Packers fan, obviously. But I just think there's a lot of obviously divisional to this, and like I said, Bears go from 1 to 7 if they lose this game. I don't know if we win this game if it puts us number 1 because of the tie. It depends.
There's a lot. There's quite a bit of kind of game-changing outcomes of games this week. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You have like obviously Texans and Chiefs and the Bears and the Packers. Got Chargers in there. What happens if they lose a game? Like it kind of muddies that as well. Like
it's a big divisional week,
right?
Yeah. Like if the Packers win, let's say the Packers win, right? They go 9-3-1. The Bears will fall to the 7th seed. If the Rams win, they'd be 9-4. But 9-3-1 is better than 9-4 because you have one less loss. So that helps us in there. It's just with a tie. It's so interesting how things.
Who are the Eagles playing?
Chargers.
They play the Chargers
Monday night.
Man, if that's crazy. If the Eagles lose, what does that mean for the division there? Like, what does that?
8-5.
How does that put the Cowboys?
Cowboys alive.
They needed to beat the Lions to keep pressure on them, but we'll see. I mean,
even if
they still got to play the Bills, and they still got to play the Bills, the Raiders, and Washington twice. So, I mean, it's not a cakewalk schedule.
Makes it interesting.
No, it does. So, and then you got Tampa, who fell off a cliff. They're 7-5. Carolina's 7-6. Right.
That's a team that I just get frustrated with. I'm like, what is this? Like, just all of a sudden they'll lose like a bunch of, and then you get this one win where you're like,
they can look terrible, what? And then and then Bryce Young looked superhuman on Sunday and really, really looked good throwing some passes.
It's so weird.
Jacksonville, my bad, is ahead of Indianapolis at 8-4, not behind them.
Indianapolis has been struggling a little bit.
It's crazy.
Daniel Jones is playing with a broken leg.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
He got a fractured fibula. He got his college roommates have come up with a company that make pads that are form fitted to your body. And they made him one in college when he broke his collarbone, and they made him one for his leg to protect his basically his left. It's his plant leg that he's got a fractured fibula.
Every time he goes to, oh gosh.
I thought he was gonna say that his friends had a company like the company that made Terminator, and they just cut the leg off.
No.
Bionic leg and ready to go. It's like, oh
yeah, his college roommates came up with this, and it's some patented deal.
Huh.
It's
probably making a lot of money, I guess.
Made out of Kevlar and
dang.
Form fitted to your leg or to you, and not like you just can buy them for, they're made for that person.
Brian, go break something. Let's go. Let's see how
Let's test it.
Let's test it.
Right on the show. Oh man. Well, what is it? Oh, Craig, this is a little bit of college football here. How is Lane Kiffin going to leave Ole Miss in the middle of not even in the more in the season when Ole Miss is number 6 in the rankings, you're going to be in the playoffs, and he's just like, "Hey guys, I'm going to LSU next year," and they're like, "We don't want you to coach the rest of the season. You can kick rocks, sir." It's just a weird. That's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. You could not wait till the end of the season and say, "Hey, sorry guys, whatever happened, great season. I'm going to LSU." To do this to me is insane, is it not? I mean,
there must have been something behind the scenes.
The only reason you do it is if LSU says, if you don't pull the trigger right now, then we're giving it to somebody else. You have till the close of business on Friday to let us know, and if you don't, then we have a backup plan. And they just wanted to see.
That's real shitty to those players that came and wanted to play for Lane Kiffin.
The other narrative could be something's going on behind the scenes, within the actual And
they didn't fire him; they wanted him there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but maybe there was something going on where he was like, "Man, screw this!" And he knew what would happen.
It's 100%. 100% LSU said it's either now or never, and he was like, "All right, I'm out here, guys." Maybe he thought Ole Miss would let him continue coaching. But they were like, "F you, dude. Why won't we do that?" I don't know why would you do that? I just think it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's just
that is weird. That is
weird. Team into the playoffs. They're I don't know. I wasn't expecting Ole Miss to be as good as they are this year, and the coach is just like, "I'm bouncing, guys. All right, see you later." I just that doesn't sit well with me, man. It doesn't. That's giving up on these players you've been coaching all season. You go, and I guess it doesn't matter because he's not there anymore. It'd be a little weird if he, I guess, came back to coach him the rest of the season. Like, what do you care? You're not going to be here next year. All this talk about hard work and loyalty and dedication, and your ass is on.
Maybe that might
it's just a weird thing.
I mean, I think back in the back of his mind, he probably knew that would happen. It's like, if I say this, none of those players are going to really respect me at this point, by just walking out.
It's just I've just never seen. It's just the craziest thing. It's just the craziest thing to see. Random, Jeff. Remember Coach Corner in middle school? He used to drive the football bus and fall asleep.
Oh my gosh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He passed away last week.
What?
Good old Coach Corner, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Facebook, and I was like, that sucks. Good guy.
He was a good guy. I mean, he was a little crazy a little bit, but he was a good guy. He kept it fun.
Craig, we would be driving on the school bus back, and he'd be driving the school bus, and he would totally be dozing off.
And he sounded like I forgot the guy on Waterboy that you couldn't understand. Dude. And we would just sit there and we're like, I don't know what he did, but all right.
We were afraid he's going to drive this bus off a cliff and we'd all be dead tomorrow. And the next
There was
week,
one game where we did come back. It was like a late night. It was one of those ones where we came back and it was really late.
From Springtown or something.
Yeah.
And the next week, a different coach rode with us, and he's like, "That guy's never driving a bus ever again. No more."
Oh, but man, that sucks.
Anyways, sorry, I just popped the med. Yeah, it does suck. Rest in peace, there. Rest in peace. All right, we got to talk about one more thing before we get off. It's been about an hour now, and this is basketball related. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 21-1. Absolutely insane. They're going to mollywop the Dallas Mavericks tonight, probably. It's like
I don't know. We beat the Nuggets.
The Golden State Warriors, where they only lost 7 freaking games. I'm like, that's insane, dude. That is insane. If they continue this,
I mean, the Pistons were 15-3.
Whew.
Yeah,
Pistons.
I will say
they've been good since Chauncey Billups and Rasheed Wallace and.
I will say the Mavericks have
No, they've gotten better.
They're doing different things, and
Flag
has been getting more comfortable, and you're seeing a better structured offense. And Nembhard came out of nowhere, and he looks like, I don't know, he looks crazy. It's like it gives you that reminiscent of like Doncic and Brunson type of thing with that. So. But he looks good. So,
yeah, Flag has looked good. The Mavericks have looked better. They're starting to win. They're winning those harder games. We beat the freaking Nuggets and
Denver.
And Joker had like 41 point. Like he had his normal night. Jennifer Sassman says, "Go Thunder." She's a Thunder's fan. They look unstoppable right now. I had to mention it because that is something in sports right now that's probably the most impressive thing. You go 21-1 is crazy. But
I just want to talk about one more thing. I guess today is the day that they finalized the teams for the World Cup. So kind of interesting. It's going to be in the US, Mexico, Canada. So it'll be over there at Jerry World.
Yeah, I got Jerry World. There will be some in LA as well.
Anywhere down in San Antonio, Houston, or no?
I'm not sure. I don't follow soccer, so I have no clue.
Well, Team USA's in it, Brian. You'll be following it, so stop.
I'll watch a little bit. The men's, the women's, no, but the men's I will watch. Get into details about that, but no, it's been a long time since I paid attention to soccer, and even in World Cup wise. So it is interesting. They're traveling around, and
it's pretty cool. Here. It hasn't been here since '94, so it's kind of a big deal.
Historical thing for soccer. Yeah. So, Craig, you got anything you want to talk about before we close the show up tonight?
Nope.
All right, guys. Well. All right, Bear Ski Films, thanks for jumping on. Jennifer Sasson, thanks for getting into the comment section here. I don't have anything bad about the Thunder, so I hope they continue to win. We're all Mavericks fans on the podcast here, and
don't listen to Brian; he's a Laker fan.
I still miss Luka, but Luka,
get over it.
Get over it. Move on. Oh man! All right, guys. Well, that's the show. Next year, he's like, "I'm going back." All right, guys. Well, that's the show tonight. Come jump on with us Tuesdays and Fridays as we get the show back. Not back going. We've been going, but get the show back on its regular scheduled programming. Thanks, guys, for all those listening. Thanks, Craig and Jeff, for your time. God bless, and remember,
keep it outspoken.